So this week, we're continuing our spotlight on fast, light filler games, which are portable, they set up in a couple of minutes, and they play out in less than an hour. These are great games for traveling, and great games to bring along to any event or occasion.
In Bairs, 2 to 4 players are campers who are trying to survive a bear attack. Each round, the central pool of camp dice are rolled, and each player also gets to roll their personal pool of 5 dice. Players then rush to make pairs between the 2 sets, and the round ends when the central pool runs out of either bears or tents. Now you can pair a gun with a bear or a runner with a tent to score 1 or 2 points respectively. If you pair a sleeping bag with a tent, there's more risk, but also potentially more reward. If there's no bears left in the central pool at the end of the round, then you get 5 points for each of those pairs. However, if there's any bears left in camp, you're going to lose 2 points for each of those pairs you have. Any incorrect pairs also cost you points, and unpaired dice can be re-rolled in order to try to find a better match. The game ends as soon as one player reaches 100 points, at which point they win.
Coloretto is a set collection game for 2 to 5 players. So each player starts the game with a colored card face up in front of them, and on the table will be amount of row markers equal to the amount of players. So on their turn, a player can draw a card and place it in a row, or they can take a completed row and claim it for their own. So when you draw a card, you can place it in any row, but each row can only have 3 cards in it. When you claim a row for your own, the round is over for you and you place those cards in front of you. A round ends when all of those rows have been claimed by players. You keep playing this way until the last round card is drawn, and in that case, you end the game after the end of that round. So for scoring, you're going to get positive points for each of 3 colors of cards that you have, and negative points for all other colors of cards that you have. Joker cards can be added to any color, and +2 cards get you +2 points. So at the end of 4 games of Coloretto, the player with the most points is the winner.
Flux is a card game in which the rules and the victory conditions are constantly changing. Your basic rule set has each player start with 3 cards and then draw a card and play a card on their turn. New rule cards are played face up onto the table and are going to replace any older rules that they contradict. Goals give you the victory conditions for the game, and only 1 goal can be in play at any given time. Most of the rest of the other cards are either keepers or creepers. Keepers can be played in front of you at any time and are usually going to count towards a total that you want to collect in order to meet a particular goal. Creepers are similar except that you have to play them as soon as you draw them, and you usually don't want to collect these because they'll actually prevent you from meeting certain goals. Once one player in the game has collected the right keepers to meet one of the goals, then the game ends and they win. There's about 10 different versions of Flux out on the market right now, and each one has a slightly different flavor, as well as some minor rule variants to it, so you can really pick and choose which one you like best.
In Pocket Rockets, 2 to 4 players compete to build the biggest rockets that they can and send them off to the moon. So at the beginning of Pocket Rockets, you lay out your assembly plant, which is 6 cards in a circle on the table. All other cards are placed in stacks, face up, beside the assembly line cards and the conveyor belt cards. Each player receives the base to 1 rocket, as well as an astronaut token that they can move around in the assembly plant. On their turn, a player can spend up to 4 action points to move, draw a card, or perform an action related to the assembly plant card that they're sitting on. So if an astronaut is sitting on an assembly line card, they can play a card from their hand that's the color of that assembly line and add it to the rockets in front of them. Each rocket that they're building has to be of the same color. However, you can work on as many rockets as you would like at a time. A rocket is composed of a base, 1 or more fuselages, and a tip card. Once that rocket is completed, you can add a fuel token to it if you're sitting on the right assembly plant card. The game ends once all of the fuel tokens have been claimed. For scoring, you will get 1 point for every fuselage card that you have, as well as extra points for special tip cards for your rockets, and extra points for fuel tokens. At the end of the game, the player with the most points wins.
So my favorite game in this bunch is Bairs, and not just because there's an exclamation mark in the title. It's a really frantic, fast-paced game, and the fact that everybody's drawing from the same pool of dice means you've got to think really fast, because not only are you trying to score points for yourself, but you're also trying to mess up the other players. It's fast, it's loud, people get really into it, and there's just a lot of really fun energy that comes from this game.
So my favorite game out of this set has got to be Pocket Rockets. For a fast and light game that's really quick to set up and really portable, it's actually got a lot of really interesting complexity to it. You'll spend a lot of time thinking about what you're going to do on your turn, and there's a lot of nice little elements to the game, which I really enjoyed. So I would say that for a fast and light and cheap game, Pocket Rockets is my bet.